Hello, where have we all come from? Good morning, Mrs. Fitzfasenden. How do, Alistair? Mr. Sagamore, I presume. I did not know you were engaged.
Your arrival is quite opportune, sir. Will you have the goodness to sit down?
Thank you. I hope I'm not interrupting this lady.
Oh, no, not at all. Don't mind me.
Miss Smith, an intimate friend of Mr. Fitzfasenden.
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure.
The fact is, Mrs. Fitzfasenden mentioned your name to me in conversation as her choice of a new solicitor, so I thought I could not place myself in better hands.
But excuse me, had you not a solicitor of your own?
Oh, my dear Mr. Sagamore, never be content with a single opinion. When I feel ill, I always consult at least half a dozen doctors. The variety of their advice and prescriptions convinces me that I had better cure myself. When a legal point arises, I always consult 6 solicitors with much the same result.
You know I have no sense of humour. You know it annoys me when you talk the sort of nonsense that's supposed to be funny. Did you come here to consult Mr. Sagamore about me?
I did, but of course I expected to find him alone.
Oh, and here we are, the whole caboodle.
I was speaking to Mr. Blenderbland. I was not speaking to you. And I'm not a member of your caboodle, as you call it.
Sorry, dear. Just a reminder I was still listening.
Has the matter on which you wish to consult me any reference to Mr. Fitzfassenden's family circle?
It has.
Yes. And is it of such a nature that sooner or later it'll have to be discussed amongst all the adult members of that circle?
Well, yes, I suppose so. But hadn't we better talk about it a little in private first?
You shall do no such thing. I will not have my affairs discussed in private or in public. They concern myself alone.
May I not discuss my own affairs?
With my solicitor, I will not have it.
Now she's off in the deep end again. We may as well go home.
Oh, the deep end, the deep end. What is life if it is not to be lived at the deep end? Oh, Alistair, you are a tadpole.
Oh, don't do that.
Smooth it for him, angel of the house.
Shouldn't make a sight of him like that.
Mr. Fitzfassenden, why did you marry Mrs. Fitzfassenden?
Why? Well, does that require any explanation? I've already told you why I married him.
Although you may not think it, she can be frightfully fascinating when she really wants to be.
Why might he not think that? What do you mean?
Oh, he knows what I mean.
Oh, it's some silly joke, I suppose.
Don't be absurd, Fitzfassenden. Your wife is the most adorable woman on earth.
Not here, Adrian. If you're going to talk like that, let's go somewhere where we can be alone.
Oh, for heaven's sake, do before you drive us all crazy.
Now, steady, steady. I hardly know where I am. Now, you're all consulting me, but none of you's given me any instructions. Hadn't you better all be divorced?
What is the creature to live on? He has nothing. He would have had to become a professional boxer or tennis player if his uncle had not pushed him into an insurance business where he was perfectly useless.
Effie, I don't think Mr. Sagamore wants to hear
He
about all
does.
this.
He
but-
shall be silent. Mr. Sagamore, when Alistair proposed to me, was too great an idiot to comprehend his own audacity. I kept my father's promise. I gave him a cheque for £150. Turn this into 50,000 within 6 months, I said, and I am yours.
You never told me this.
Why should I? It's a revolting story.
Well, what's revolting about it? Did I make good or did I not? Did I risk hell to get the money and win your hand, or did I not?
Do I understand you to say, Alistair, that you made £50,000 in 6 months?
Why not?
You may well look incredulous, Adrian, but he did. This imbecile made £50,000 and won Epifania Ognissanti di Perega for his bride. I kept my word and married him instantly. Then, too late, I discovered how he had made it.
Well, how did I make it? By my own brains.
Brains by your own folly, your own ignorance, and your criminal instincts, and the luck that attends the half-witted. What you deserved was 5 years penal servitude.
5 years? 15 more like that's what I risked for you. And what did I get by it? Living with you was far worse than any penal servitude.
It would have been heaven for you if nature had equipped you for such a companionship as mine. But what was it for me? No man had ever been good enough for me. I was like a princess in a fairy tale, offering my hand and fortune to any man who could turn my £150 into 50,000 within 6 months. Able men, brilliant men, the youngest sons of the noblest families either refused or failed the test. Why? Because they were too honest or too proud. This thing succeeded, and I found myself tied for life to an insect.
You may say what you like, but you were just as much in love with me as I was with you.
Well, you were young. You were shaped well. Your lawn tennis was outstanding. You were a magnificent boxer. I was attracted by physical contact with you.
Oh, is it necessary to be so very explicit, Mrs. Fitzfassenden?
Julius Sagamore, you may be made of sawdust. I am made of flesh and blood. Alistair is physically attractive. As my sole excuse for having married him. Have you the face to pretend he has any mental charm?
But how did he make the £50,000? Was it on the stock exchange?
Nonsense. The creature doesn't know the difference between a cumulative preference and a deferred ordinary. Wouldn't know how to begin.
But how did he begin? My bank balance is at present about 150. I should very much like to know how to make it up to 50,000. You are so rich, Epiphania, that you don't know how a man to whom £100 is a considerable sum feels in the arms of a woman to whom £1 million is mere pin money.
And you don't know how it feels to be a woman in the arms of a man and know that you could buy him 20 times over and not miss the price.
If I give you my £150, will you invest it for me?
It is not worth investing. You cannot make money on the stock exchange until your weekly account is at least 70,000. Do not meddle with money, Adrian. You do not understand it. I will give you all you need.
No, thank you. I should lose my self-respect. I prefer the poor man's luxury of paying for your cabs and flowers and theatre tickets and lunches at the Ritz and all the little sums you have occasion for when we are together.
It's quite true. I never carry pocket money about with me. I must owe you millions in odd £5 notes. I will tell my bankers that you want 1,000 on account.
But I don't. I love lending you fivers, only as they run through my comparatively slender means at an appalling rate. I should honestly like a few lessons from Alistair in the art of turning hundreds into tens of thousands.
His example would be useless to you, Adrian, because Alistair's one of nature's marvels, and there's nothing marvellous about you, except your appetite.
Do explain how Alistair made the £50,000?
I leave him to tell that disgraceful tale himself. I believe he's proud of it.
Well, it worked out all right, but it was a near thing, I can tell you.